From one of the world's most luxurious casinos nestled along the Singaporean coast, and Elon Musk's dream for a world full of sustainable gigafactories, to a 110-mile-long linear city in the middle of the Saudi desert, and the largest water park ever built, home to the planet's soon-to-be tallest water slide. Here are 10 of the biggest mega projects in the world.
MSG Sphere. Las Vegas, Nevada will become home to a novel entertainment venue inside the world's biggest sphere in 2023. Construction on the MSG Sphere has been ongoing since 2019, and the venue's steel exosphere was completed back in June. When completed, the MSG Sphere will be over 100 meters tall and 157 meters wide, making it the largest spherical structure in the world. The sphere is supposed to be the reference point for the Las Vegas entertainment scene and can accommodate 20,000 spectators at a time. The sphere features interior and exterior displays bigger than 3 football fields, which will create a truly unique atmosphere.
As the demand for air travel continues to grow, and with the United States preparing to host both the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Olympic Games, airports across the country, from LaGuardia to LAX, are undergoing multi-billion-dollar overhauls. The $8.5 billion upgrade to Chicago's O'Hare International will mark the first comprehensive redevelopment and expansion of the terminal core in the airport's history. The master plan will see Terminal 5 expanded, while Terminal 2 will be completely rebuilt, becoming a global transfer hub with 2 satellite concourses, adding 280,000 square meters of space and 50 additional gates to the airport. To minimise disruption, the new concourses will be built first, allowing them to take over operations from Terminal 2 when the existing building is demolished. Work on Terminal 5 is scheduled to complete by 2022, and subsequent phases will open in stages up to 2028.
Between 1998 and 2004, the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia were the tallest buildings in the world. At 1,483 feet, the Malaysian twins were only 33 feet taller than the Sears Tower in Chicago, which then became the second tallest building in the world, or maybe the third. The Petronas Towers held that title until the construction of Taipei 101 in Taiwan, but then the Burj Khalifa dwarfed everyone in 2010, standing 2,717 feet tall. Still, the Petronas Towers are the tallest twin skyscrapers on Earth, and home to National Petroleum Limited, a Malaysian oil and gas company commonly referred to as Petronas. The $1.6 billion towers also feature the world's highest 2-story bridge between the 41st and 42nd floors. You can head up to the observation deck on the 86th floor for an even better view of the Malaysian skyline. Argentinian-American architect Cesar Pelli went with a distinctive postmodern style, aiming to build a 21st century icon for Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Seeing how the official Malaysian religion is Islam, Pelli combined principles of Muslim architecture and design to create a structure that oozed with Malaysian culture. Like most mega projects, construction didn't come without its hiccups. A bad batch of concrete brought construction to a grinding halt. They were worried the weak concrete had infected everything they had built so far. Luckily, builders only used it on one floor. They tore that floor down, rebuilt, and kept moving. Still, the delay cost the project about $700,000 per day.
A joint project between 35 nations, the ITER, formerly known as the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, is currently under construction in France. Once completed, the $20 billion centre will allow scientists to recreate the fusion reactions that take place inside the Sun, potentially revolutionising energy production. Consisting of 3 main buildings, the project is centred around the tokamak, a magnetic chamber that will contain the plasma created when particles are heated to over 150 million degrees Celsius, and collided to produce fusion energy. Construction of the vast building that houses the reactor began in 2013, requiring the development of 10 different types of concrete to shield workers from radiation. With more than 60% of the reactor complex already complete, work is now underway on the tokamak, inside its 337,000-ton housing chamber. The entire complex is due to come online in 2025.
Fehmarn Belt Tunnel. European connectivity is planned to grow further with the commissioning of an 18-kilometer-long immersed tunnel in the Baltic Sea. The Fehmarn Belt Tunnel is designed as an alternative to the ferry service between the German island of Fehmarn and the Danish island of Lolland. Once the tunnel is commissioned, the 45-minute ferry ride will be cut to less than 10 minutes by train or car. The tunnel will be put into place by immersing pre-built tunnel sections 40 meters below the seabed. These sections will then be moved into place by barges and cranes. The construction budget for one of Europe's largest infrastructure projects is over $7 billion and will be completed by 2029.
According to Elon Musk, when the Gigafactory in Reno, Nevada is complete, it will have the largest footprint of any structure in the world, bigger than the Great Pyramid, the Empire State Building, and the Burj Khalifa. Counting multiple levels, we're talking about 15 million square feet. However, every inch will run on renewable energy. Now, you've probably seen Elon talking with Leonardo DiCaprio about the Gigafactory and its environmental impact. According to the Tesla CEO's calculations, it would take 100 gigafactories worldwide to power the entire planet with sustainable energy. Unfortunately, the current Gigafactory in Nevada is about 30% complete. Tesla finally announced plans to expand the factory in 2022, but the full-scale building is still a distant dream. Now, Elon's been thinking about the Gigafactory his whole life, but official plans didn't kick off until 2014 when Panasonic agreed to invest in the $5 billion project. With the how figured out, it was time to determine the where. Tesla toured several locations, never once thinking about northern Nevada. But after a little convincing and several private trips, Tesla finally settled on the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, or TRIC. Now, while the Nevada factory is the biggest, it's not the only Gigafactory Tesla owns. Giga New York, located in Buffalo, focuses on power pack batteries and solar panels. Giga Texas, the company's newest factory in Austin, serves as Tesla HQ and acts as an assembly site for Model Ys, Model 3s, Cybertrucks, and Cybersemis. 2 more Gigafactories exist outside the US, one in Shanghai, China, and the other in Berlin, Germany.
Hudson Yards. Over in New York, 30 years of planning has resulted in the creation of the biggest New York development since the Rockefeller Center in the 1930s. The Hudson Yards neighborhood is equivalent to 4 city blocks and occupies a previously undeveloped parcel in Manhattan, close to the Hudson River. The first phase of the project opened in 2019 and has so far seen the rise of 4 skyscrapers, residential buildings, and an attractive art installation called The Vessel. Hudson Yards is already home to some of the biggest conglomerates, including HBO, CNN, BlackRock, Disney, and Meta. Work is now continuing on the second part of the project, which will include 3,000 residential units, a public school, and hundreds of low-cost rental units. The second phase is planned for completion by 2024, taking the total cost of the project to $25 billion.
Jubail, Saudi Arabia used to be an ancient fishing village on the Persian Gulf. It was full of deserted suburbs until the mid-1970s, when an American engineering company called the Bechtel Corporation broke ground on the largest industrial city in the world, spanning more than 687 square miles. Upon its completion, the new site contributed to about 7% of Saudi Arabia's total GDP. At the turn of the millennia, the Saudi royal family decided to expand operations in Jubail, and Jubail II was born. Considered by many to be the world's largest civil engineering project, Jubail II sought to double the city's original size. The project provided housing for 120,000 new residents and built a brand new 18,000-student university. Today, Jubail is a major player in the global energy market, attracting the best and brightest tech and business minds across dozens of countries. When it's done, Jubail 2 could make them the major player. During peak working seasons, the Jubail 2 project employs 20,000 workers per month. About $4 billion has been invested in infrastructure, which includes hundreds of miles of roads, water and waste facilities, and utilities. Another $18 billion will go toward building the expansion itself. In fact, the project is so big that they broke it into 4 phases over 22 years. The current timetable has Jubail 2 completed by 2024, but we'll see if any pandemic-related setbacks push that completion date off.
Brenner Base Tunnel. Next on the list is yet another European tunnel project that is also one of the longest tunnels in the world. The 64-kilometer-long Brenner Base Tunnel will run under the Alps and connect Italy and Germany via Austria. The Brenner railway network has connected Italy with Northern Europe for more than 150 years. However, a 1,370-meter elevation and a 26% slope gradient mean that the journey across the region is relatively slow, with speeds never exceeding 70 kilometers per hour. The Brenner Base Tunnel provides a solution as it is built at an elevation of only 790 meters, with high travel speeds touching 200 kilometers per hour. Going into the new year, the excavation work on 2/3 of the tunnel's project is complete. Most of the tunnel excavation is being carried out using giant tunnel boring machines. However, the TBMs can get stuck in the fault zones, so some of the tunneling will be done through traditional drilling and blasting. The estimated cost of the project is over $10 billion, and after the tunneling will be completed by 2025, the rail network will take another 7 years to open.
Lusail is the second largest city in Qatar. If you watched the 2022 World Cup Finals, you might recognize Lusail Stadium, the largest of its kind in the Middle East. The Qatari government built the Lusail and 7 other stadiums specifically for the World Cup, costing about $6.5 billion. Some experts estimate Qatar spent some $200 billion over 12 years to make the World Cup happen in the first place, not to mention the countless human rights violations. According to Bloomberg, a chunk of that change went toward building Lusail City itself, a mega project that cost some $45 billion. The area was still a desert when Qatar won the World Cup bid in 2010. They wanted to have it finished before the event, but according to ESPN writer Mark Ogden, the city feels more like a dystopian scene straight out of a Christopher Nolan movie. When it's done, Lusail is expected to house about 450,000 people, including 250,000 residents, 190,000 office workers, and 60,000 retail staff members. One day, all of them will get to enjoy Aquatar, the world's largest water park. Considered to be the crown jewel of this artificial city, Aquatar will feature 36 water slides and attractions alongside a 279-foot tower, home to the world's highest water slide. When it's done, the park will cover about 300,000 square feet. They expected it to attract 50,000 visitors per day during the World Cup, but you can't ride a half-built water slide, can you?